Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, February 10th. I am joined today by Boomy at Boomy TCF and Pigoy at TCF Pigoy on Twitter. You can follow me at ZLilja TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. If you go onto YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe on there, watch the videos, like the videos. Let us know what you think of all the videos we've been putting on there. We put all of our TCF Morning Show and our Typical Chicago Fan podcast on there, and then some random segments that we do throughout the TCF Morning Show. I've been kind of cutting that up, putting some videos on there, so go check those out. Wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review, or if you're on Spotify, follow on there. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Give us a nice little 5-star rating. We would appreciate that a lot. Also, thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. You can get this beautiful mug. It won't have this beautiful TCF logo on it, but if you would like the look of this mug right here, go to the Muddy Otter and get your products on there. There's stuff that the mugs, like I said, pottery, woodworking, whatever you're looking for, to go on there. Or if you have some other ideas, hit them up on their Facebook and Instagram page and let them know, and maybe they can get that done for you. Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Score Trader, go on to the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app, make an account. Boomy, we're into New Hampshire now.
Yes, sir. New Hampshire starting tomorrow will be the New Hampshire caucus. And if you follow politics, New Hampshire is actually where Bernie Sanders is from. So this will be really interesting. I'm actually really excited about that. But head on over. I know most of you guys are Apple. You guys are both Apple guys, right?
We are.
I'm the only non-Apple guy on the podcast, but I've got to get in this somehow. I think I got an iPad at work I'm going to be able to use. But you can be a candidate for cash prizes by playing Score Trader's Vote 2020 event. Score Trader is a free-to-play prediction trading game on the Apple App Store with a variety of events. You can buy and sell shares in the Democratic presidential candidates in a freestanding continuous trading market, while also participating in the state primary events like New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, and Super Tuesday. You can win in those events alone, but it is your performance in both those events and the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, in the summer that affect your overall profit in the Score Trader tokens for the entire Vote 2020 event, which is how the real cash and prizes are awarded. Specific prize numbers will be announced in the coming weeks. Score Trader integrates political news into the app, so it's a great way to stay tuned and engaged in the election cycle, all the while expressing your vote of confidence in who you buy for the long haul, with plenty of flexibility to change your picks throughout the election cycle. Score Trader is currently on the Apple App Store, so download it now. Follow them on Twitter at Score Trader App, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for tutorials. So get in on this now, guys. New Hampshire is tomorrow. And if I'm going to give, can't hold me to this, but I'm just saying, it's New Hampshire. It's where Bernie Sanders is from. You figure it out.
Boomy's just saying. He's just saying that there's a good chance that Bernie could win this. Boomy, or is that what you're saying?
If I was a gambling man, that's who my money would be on. I'm just
Boomy will be playing on the app, so he will be most likely trading for or buying Bernie Sanders, however that works. Boomy.
Yeah, I like Pete Buttigieg. He's the one that won Iowa. He narrowly beat out Bernie 26.20% to 26.10%. So it was a close race, but now you're heading into Bernie's home territory. I think I might sound stupid, but I'm pretty sure Bernie is from New Hampshire or Vermont. Well, New Hampshire and Vermont are basically the same place, in my opinion.
Okay, so
maple syrup and basically Canadians. But either way, I think
if you threw a dart on a map, you'd hit them both at the same time.
Exactly. So I like Bernie in this, but I think Pete Buttigieg is kind of a roaring, a better option, but or is becoming a better option. I'm sorry, I didn't say that very well. So yeah, I think you can't go real wrong with either one, but I'm excited to pull it up and get to work and looking into some statistics on both of those guys. But there's so much going on. There's still a lot of candidates involved, and I am an idiot. Bernie Sanders is from Vermont, not New Hampshire. But again, to me, those are the same places. Sorry if you're from Vermont or New Hampshire, but here in Illinois, those might as well be the same places. So yeah, it'll be really fun tomorrow. Come the New Hampshire caucus.
So yeah, go check out the Score Trader app. Go download it on the Apple Store. Make an account and get into that if you're into politics or if you're kind of into the daily fantasy sports and you kind of were. If you were ever into Score Trader and doing the NFL stuff, it's just like it, but with the politicians that are in the New Hampshire caucus, right?
Correct.
And you can kind of mess around with that. But thank you to our sponsor, Score Trader and the Muddy Otter. Before we get into our first topic, did we just win any money there, Pigoy?
It went 6-4-2.
So we won. We had the 4 and the 2, right? But that didn't matter, right?
No, we had the 4 across, so we
So we won something there.
ended up in a little bit.
Go. Like it, love it.
Bit.
If you have any more horse bets, throw them out.
Next race is at 9:29, so we'll have one more before we go off the show.
We'll let the fans get into a little behind the scenes of what we do here on the TCF Morning Show. We bet some ponies here throughout the show, and
Australian ponies.
It's kind of weird. Why are they so stretched out throughout the night? Shouldn't they be like closer? Why are they like every 30 minutes?
No,
I think we need like every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes.
No, it's about. Well, if you're at the same track, it's like 20, 30 minutes between races. Usually when we're betting on like a Sunday or a Saturday, like during the day, it's like just wrap around every track goes after another one. But also, you know what? When I was watching this race, the Australian horses, they run clockwise, not counterclockwise.
Hemisphere.
It looked like they had not cut the grass there either.
I was like, that was wild. They're running the wrong way.
Pigoy got very confused. Very confused.
It's like when you flush a toilet down there.
Yep, that was tripped me out.
But let's get into our first topic of the day. XFL Week 1 recap. Started out on Saturday. The DC Defenders went up against the Seattle Dragons. And the DC Defenders won 31-19. Maybe one of the worst beats of all time. Seattle was about to kick a field goal to take the over. They get a penalty. It ends up they don't need to go for the
field goal.
They made the field goal, but then they ended up getting the penalty, trying to go for more points. Ended up fumbling the ball. The DC Defenders just ran the clock out, and the over did not hit. The over had already hit. It had already hit. They took the points away. They took the points away. He had made the field goal. It was kind of an ugly-looking field goal in the first place, but it went through. They wanted to go for more points, try to go for a touchdown, and then fumbled the ball. If that was me, that would have been. I'm lucky I didn't gamble on that because that would have hurt me. That would have ruined my whole weekend. But then we have. Did you guys watch any of these games?
Yeah, I watched every game.
What'd you think?
I was watching them.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the rules?
I love it.
I like the new kickoff rule. It's different. And I was talking to some people like on Saturday about it, and I was saying you don't want the NFL to adapt any of these rules because that's the thing.
No.
It's kind of the gimmick of it all. Is you have all these rules that the NFL doesn't have. You have the coaches are mic'd up and you can hear what they're saying. The players are getting interviewed right as they come off the field. Pat McAfee was, I think, doing the last game of the day on ESPN. I think it was. Is it St. Louis?
Yeah, it was St. Louis.
I didn't know St. Louis had a team.
Dallas. Yeah,
so they had Pat McAfee on the sideline. They got reporters all over the sidelines on every game.
True, Pat McAfee's not just on the sideline. He's on the field.
He's on the field, but like not during the game, right?
No. But like literally as plays are getting over.
He's right there.
I like it. It makes it unique.
He saved Troy Aikman's life tonight.
Yes, he did.
He
He
pulled
did.
Troy Aikman out of the way when a guy was kind of coming at them. But I think that's, like I said, the cool thing about it is now you get to maybe listen to how they call plays and stuff like that, the coaches.
Exactly.
Did you guys think it was almost too much of a gimmick, or do you think it's going to work?
So there's definitely parts of it that I thought were like extremely gimmicky, like the whole 2 point conversion thing I thought was rather gimmicky, but like that's also part of the charm, like it does make it a little bit different. It makes the strategy a little bit different. So yes and no, like I don't think I want him to change the 2 point conversion
No.
thing or the 3 point conversion or the whatever the case is. But like it's going to take a little bit of time for the public to get used to these rules, and like you're going to have to explain it. I love the integration of gambling. The line and the over was on the screen the whole time. They openly talked about gambling. They talked a lot about the guys past and where they've played and who they've played for. I don't know, man. I just enjoyed it, and it was kind of fun, but I wasn't like super glued into it like an NFL game. I could also get some other stuff done. And I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just kind of enjoyed it. And I also really enjoyed the one thing I think that the NFL could take notes on is they let you listen in from the sky judge and his explanation of what happened to the head official that was going to make the call. So you kind of weren't sitting there, like asking, oh, why did the refs call this? What did the refs see here? You got to hear the conversation from the sky judge down to the field, like little stuff like that. The NFL could integrate, but like the big stuff, it does make it a gimmick, but it also makes the XFL what it is. So I hope it's here to stay.
I do too. I really do hope it's here to stay. Pigoy?
Yeah, to Boomy's point, like I liked how transparent they were about like listening to the play calls and listening to the rules explanations. Like that was pretty cool. The whole point after conversion, that's a pretty big gimmick. But and then also the kickoffs, that was kind of weird too. But it's entertaining and people want to watch football all year, so I'm on board with it. I mean,
if they can manage their money, and being it's run by Vince McMahon, they'll be okay. Like the AAF was a disaster because they had no money.
And that's the thing is like, and that's why I think the AAF did wrong is they tried to be too much like the NFL, where the XFL wants to be different and they're going to embrace being different than the NFL and they're going to get viewers because they're different and they have a different style of football and it's still football, so people are going to watch it, but it's just different.
And there were some bad names out there too. I mean.
My thing is the big factor of will it work is if players will start, like if some of these guys will actually start making it onto NFL rosters. If it kind of becomes it's never going to be the minor league of football. That's just not going to work. But if it's
a farm
system, some guys can actually make it from the XFL to the NFL and it be why, then that is going to make it watchable and more attractive for people to go play in. I think that's really, it's the first game. You really won't know until a full season goes through. And I know it's fun to watch. We just like watching football. But looking at the AAF, you just want to make it through a full season at this point. Just try and get through year one.
And the old XFL did. They made it through a full year, but like,
I think there's,
it's all about the longevity and the ability to stick around.
And you see that, there's the gimmicks of the rules and stuff, but they're still sticking to football. It seemed like back when they first tried to do it, they tried to make it more of like a wrestling thing and like make storylines behind everything, which is kind of cool. But some people, they just want to watch football. They don't want. Yeah, and you can't really do that kind of stuff nowadays. You can't joke about the concussions, and you can't have the concussions, and like some of those guys just get almost talked in the middle of the games like they have a concussion and kept playing. Like that's just never going to happen. Like
aside from a few things, like it looked a lot like a football game would look like. Aside from like the kickoffs, and I mean it looked like football, which is fine. So keep it going.
I thought it was a good first week, but you really won't know. You don't know. It's people are just excited to watch football again. We had a week off, and now we need football back. So I think that's kind of where people are at right now, and we'll kind of see where it goes from here. Today or yesterday, Sunday afternoon, the Mookie Betts trade to the Dodgers was finalized. Let's see here. Mookie Betts is finally going to the Los Angeles Dodgers for a package that includes outfielder Alex Verdugo, shortstop Jeter Downs, and catcher Connor Wong are going to the Red Sox. David Price will end up being with the Dodgers. And then, so the Twins pitching. So the Dodgers and Twins pitching. So the Dodgers get a Twins pitching prospect. I'm very confused by this whole thing.
I don't.
Kenta Maeda is going to the
on.
Twins. He's ended up going to the Twins. And then it says, "Oh, we're going."
Let's say like these 3-team deals, you only see like the 2 or 3 big guys that get moved, and you don't ever hear about the other like little guys that get dealt from Team A to Team B to Team C. So I don't know what's going on. All I know hear about is the Betts and Price of the Dodgers, and that's about it.
Oh, so he is going to the Twins, but it's in a separate trade. That will be, and cash will go with. Let's see here. They got some prospects, some draft.
Hey, I'm
picks.
just really excited for a kid named Jeter to be on the Yankees' ass every once in a while.
There you go.
That's a big time trade here. JD Martinez was on Twitter. He had the sad face emoji.
I saw that.
If you're a Red Sox fan, though, is this the start of a rebuild? Because you just got rid of one of the best players in the league right now because you don't want to pay them, because you don't want to pay him. Like, that's crazy.
Like, what are you playing for this year if you're the Red Sox?
Like,
You got nothing to play for this year.
Like, I don't really
in
get
theory,
that.
because you can't beat the Yankees. So what are you doing? I mean,
no, you're not going
to contend for a wild
beat
card.
the Yankees. You're not going to get a wild card spot most likely, and you just traded away one of the top outfielders in the league right now. Like, what are you doing?
Top 5 player in a game. Like, what? I mean, yeah, you've mailed this in already.
But you also have said that, like, as the Red Sox, they're an organization that tries to keep up with the Yankees, and you're pretty much saying we don't have enough money to give Mookie Betts, who is a top 5 player in the league. Like, what is that going to say to other free agents that want to come here? Like, I understand the Cubs. I understand the Cubs are in that spot, but they also have a few guys that could get that max contract in, like a Javi Baez or a Chris Bryant, or guys like that. Like, Mookie Betts is a guy on that roster who is gonna be the highest paid player on that team and should be. He's the best player on that team. Like, what? I never got the trade. I know it's been kind of up in the air the last few week or so. They said the trade was going to happen, and it's taken a while for the whole deal to go through. But do you guys think this was a good deal for the Dodgers or the good deal for the Red Sox?
Yes is the answer.
For both?
Yeah, I think it helped out both.
So you're saying they both kind of got what they both needed?
Yeah, I don't think Mookie Betts was going back to Boston anyway after the whole arbitration deal. David Price's contract is brutal. Everybody knew that when he signed it, that near the end of it was going to be tough, and he hasn't been the David Price of old, and they were able to dump that and pick up a young kid. I think Alex Verdugo's maybe 21. And pick up another couple prospects. Jeter Downs, a very highly rated shortstop prospect. And then the catcher, who's I think somewhere in maybe like the Dodgers top 20. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I don't know if it's necessary. It does kind of look like a rebuild for the Red Sox, but they also do still have weapons of Rafael Devers and Andrew Benintendi that they just re-signed to a 2-year extension. I think it works both ways. I mean, the Dodgers are shortening up their window and going to be investing a lot of money in the contracts that are, that they have on the books. But I think this works out both ways, and it'll be interesting to see if the Red Sox are able to keep up and get this rebuild turned around quickly. I like it on both ends right now.
Jeter Downs actually named after the Hall of Famer Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now with the Red Sox.
That's what I'm saying. I can't wait for a kid named Jeter to.
No, but I'm looking at an article right now, and it literally says that. It says he is named after the Yankees Hall of Famer. So, like I said, both teams kind of. Oh, Pico, sorry, you had something to say.
No, I like that the Dodgers. I mean, they seem to be going all in like every year. They just make a move, they go all in. But if this isn't your all in move and you don't win it this year, then good
Burn
run.
it down.
Yeah, good run. You had a good 5 years, but
We'll see you in the NLCS. We'll see you in the NLCS.
Yeah. And then Kershaw come out and give up 8 hits in the first 4 innings, and they'll be done.
I love it. I can't wait for baseball season. Boys, Tuesday, tomorrow, pitchers and catchers report, boys. Let's go.
Oh, hey, that being said, Zach, you say pitchers and catchers report. Boston Red Sox, they did get the deal done today. They report on Wednesday. They don't have a coach right now.
Did you guys see some of that, too, is kind of coming out that it really maybe wasn't Alex Cora who started it all. Maybe it was the GM or
the front office.
That I could have told you that when they built a stand in center field that have the camera.
Yes.
You don't think the people who own the building are going to know that's being built? Give me a break.
But what does it feel like to be a Red Sox fan right now? You just trade, one of your top 3 pitchers and arguably the best player on the team for young talent, and you don't have a manager, 2 days away from when
probably shouldn't have gotten fired, but he got fired
Guys,
anyway.
we'll get more into this on tomorrow's show, but it's been said a lot by Chris Bryant, a guy who's kind of quiet, and some other people around the league that they're not happy about what the Astros were caught doing, and it's gonna be quite a year for the Houston Astros having to go play on the road at some place. It's gonna be wild.
I don't normally advocate for throwing at players, but I'd be perfectly fine with any Astros player getting hit by pitches this year.
You are an idiot.
What?
I don't think it.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
the plate and sees more than 3 pitches.
What I'm saying is they should have like trash cans at every single game, and like the whole fan should be able to just bang on the trash cans while everybody's trying to hit for the Astros.
Oh yeah, like they're gonna troll the hell out of them.
We're not going back to the 1900s, Boomy, where we're trying to hit. Like,
I'm not saying throw at their head, but put one in his thigh. I'm okay with.
Louise.
I agree.
Jeez Louise.
And I never advocate for that. I argue against that.
Let's move on to
I'm okay with
a depressing subject here. The Chicago Bulls. The Bulls lose in Philadelphia tonight, 118-111. Before we get into anything to do with the Bulls, did you guys happen to watch the game?
No, God, no.
Joel Embiid hit a 3 to pretty much end the game, and he told the Philly crowd, pretty much shushed them and said, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, "This is a home game, right?" And there's a video.
He's the
I saw
process.
the video on Barstool, and I don't know if it's like he's mad at Philly or what's going on there. There's been a lot going on between, especially him and Ben Simmons. Have not really been getting along. They haven't started off as
Jimmy Butler really cancered that locker room last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I also just think that they're not really off to the start that they want to, and I don't think that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have ever had the best relationship, and now it's just kind of it's just kind of falling apart. But maybe they can get it together there. But the Bulls, they're not going to get it together.
They are not.
They're not good.
And they're so hurt.
Lowry wants out allegedly. I mean,
why would you not? And then we posted something on our Twitter today saying that they were gonna maybe go away from Paxson at the end of the season.
I'll believe that.
I don't believe that at all. I want to. Dan Bernstein posted that on his Twitter, but you can only hope. You can really only hope after his little interview the other day before the Pelicans game. Pretty much just going on and on that it has to do with injuries, and if they weren't injured, then they'd be in a better spot, and this and that, and it's always the rebuild or it's injuries.
Maybe if they just had better players and they could draft,
it's unbelievable what they get away with.
Or could get a free agent or hire a coach that knows how to do anything.
The only thing that I think that is finally starting to happen now is the fans they're starting not to show up. They were even saying, they were saying even the other night when a Zion Williamson. Is it Zion Williamson?
Yes.
I always used to get that wrong.
Yeah, you always say Williams.
It was playing in Chicago that there were 6,000-7,000 seats empty. Like you thought, like when guys like that would come to Chicago, they used to be able to fill the place, even on a random night. And that can't even get people out to go to the Bulls games anymore because they just don't want to see what's on the court anymore. They don't want. Why would they want to give money to the front office?
Bro, and
I mean, I hardly even watch the games. I'll follow them on Twitter. I'll follow them on the Score app, and like, I'll check in occasionally. Like, why would I do that to myself?
No, I don't watch the Bulls games, but going back to that is like that's the entire problem is that this franchise has been in this timeless circle for the last how many years because they're not bad enough to get enough lottery balls in the lottery to get a top 3 pick because they're good enough so they can compete against teams and they're going to win games they shouldn't be winning. Yeah. So they're just stuck. They're stuck in like the 15th, 16th, 17th. Yes, they're the 15th or 16th or 17th spot in the league. You know, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to be bad enough to get a top pick.
Just not...
It's just over and over and over and over again. It's like, when in the hell do you look at the guys making the decisions and put their heads on the chopping block? Because at the end of the day, they're going to pick the players. They hired Jim Boylan. They extended Jim Boylan.
Yeah, and now... And the whole time
that
Paxton was talking before the Pelicans game, he's going on about how he believes in Jim Boylan and how Jim Boylan is doing pretty good this year and this and like. What are you watching?
Well, he has to say that too. But
I understand that, but there's no way I can trust your basketball IQ if you're going to say that. Come on.
Now they're just doubling down on their stupidity over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because you know, and I put this out there.
What are they going to do? Fire the guy and pay another coach? That means they'd be pretty much paying 3 coaches because they're still paying Hoiberg.
And I put this out there earlier. It's like when they talked about getting rid of Paxton. It's like, you know, clearly they don't do their job correctly because they put the wrong people in position to develop the players that they draft. Then like Paxton goes, well, we don't know what we have with these players that we could have traded because they're hurt or whatever. But at the end of the day, the guy that you have in charge of developing these players that you could have traded is the wrong guy to do that job.
Exactly.
So now you're stuck.
Like you said, it's a never-ending circle, dude.
Time is a flat circle with this.
Yes.
With this organization right now.
Like, why do we not trade Thaddeus Young? Why were we not looking more at Zach LaVine? Like, they asked him about the Thaddeus Young trade at the deadline. He pretty much laughed at it. Like, why would we do that? What do you mean, why would we do that? Why do we need Thaddeus Young on our team right now? I like Thaddeus Young. He's a good player, but we are looking to the future, and he is not a part of the future of this team. No. You know what I mean? Like, he's a veteran.
Thaddeus Young's the oldest player on the roster.
He's a veteran. Like why couldn't he gone to, like, a Lakers or a Clippers or a team in the West that's, like, looking for some veteran help and in a playoff contention? But no, we just want to sit there and just pretend like, well, we don't see the trades. Nothing's going on here. Like, give me a break. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you stand pat over and over again, and like we said, you double and triple and quadruple down on your own stupidity.
And talk down to people like they're like when they say something about it, it's like, well, why would we do that? It's like, well, what do you mean? Why would you do that? Because it's the right decision. That's why you do that.
Yeah, you got 10,000 empty seats a night. You're telling me that I'm wrong?
Yeah, give me a break. Like, I'm so tired of that. But and then we thought maybe the Blackhawks would play tonight, make us happy. They ended up losing 5-2. They actually ended up giving two more goals. So they blew a 2-0 lead. They got off to a quick, I think they score within like the first minute of the game or something. But blow the 2-0 lead. Corey Crawford in net tonight. They got outshot by 10 shots. They kind of played even with them. I don't know. It didn't really seem like they should lose this game. It just one gets past Crawford, and then they get the empty net. They must have got another empty net or something there at the end. We turned it off when it was 4-2, but a disappointing game. A game that would have been a nice win. Any thoughts on the games, boys? It's like I said, it was a game that we would like to. I think we're about 4 points back in the wild card right now. I thought maybe we could at least get to overtime, get at least 1 point, but they blow it in regulation.
Yeah, these ones hurt, especially when you're in games, and you know it's tough going on the road. But man, you're in it, and you feel like you're about to send some games to overtime. You've picked up up points, and then it kind of just falls through the
And I think
cracks.
it's the start of a 5-game.
Road
Yeah,
trip.
so that's even more like you want to start off the road trip in a good sense, and you go do that. It's just not the way you want to start a road trip when you are trying to fight your way back into playoff contention.
I hope I'm wrong, but this just doesn't feel like a playoff team to me.
I thought tonight when they got up 2-0 that we were gonna win this game, keep it moving, be like 2 points behind, this and that. And then when they blew it there at the end, it was like that was not good. That's not what you want out of a team that has like I said, 4 more games on the road, or maybe 3 or 4. I think it's a 5-game road
You're
trip.
right.
That it's just not the way you want to start. That's just not the energy that you wanted to see to start that road. And it's not even being on the road. It's just like you don't want to get too far behind here. Like you're
Exactly.
4
You're
out,
already
but
4
next thing you know,
points
you
out
lose
of
2 or
8
3 of these 5. You're down 6 or 7 points. Like that's and at that point, it's just gonna be tougher and tougher to get back into it. Any more thoughts on the Blackhawks, boys?
No, they're always going to be right there, and then
Just keep yanking from underneath.
they're going to keep you sucked in for the last how many more games, and then they might just miss it by a touch.
I'm about ready to declare that I really don't think this is a playoff team, but I'm going to give them another week.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie Downer, but they're just not consistent.
No, but that's the thing. You get one of these teams in the playoffs, like you saw last year when Columbus swept the Lightning in the first round. Like, they 8-1. It's just hockey's weird, but at the end of the day, some of these games have to go your way, and you can't be blowing two goal leads and close games on the road, especially when you got 4 more to go.
This game will come back to haunt you, I think, coming up here. But we got our guy. His name's Kyle Haggerty. He's here to talk a little bit college basketball, break down the weekend that was college basketball. That's a new segment we're going to start here on Mondays. We may do it some other days, but we're going to, for now, start doing it on Mondays as we lead up to March Madness. So here is Kyle Haggerty with some college basketball talk.
Hey, Zach. Hey, Boomy. Thanks for having me on. Let's talk college hoops and what happened this weekend. Let's start in the Atlantic 10. Dayton stays a perfect 10-0 in conference with a tight 71-65 victory over St. Louis. Rhode Island is nipping at their heels at 10-1 in A10 play. And after the rankings come out Monday, I expect to see a ranked matchup Tuesday between Rhody and Dayton. One that I'm certainly looking forward to. On to the American. The AAC is looking like it's Houston's for the taking. Houston had a big bounce-back week with wins over Tulane and Wichita, putting themselves all alone at the top after Cincy fell in a nail-biter to UConn 72-71. UConn playing spoiler as of late with back-to-back wins over Cincinnati and Tulsa. In the ACC, we had a crazy matchup between Duke and UNC. An incredible matchup, and the jerseys made me sick. Duke ends up pulling out the improbable victory after being down as much as 13 with 4 minutes left, but pulled out the dub in OT 98-96. Virginia gave Louisville a scare, but couldn't manage to pull the game away, and what turned out to be a first to 80 points gets the win. The Cardinals stood tough for all 40 minutes and ended up pulling out the 80-73 victory. Meanwhile, the Florida State Seminoles keep marching on, and they won again in what's becoming the best season no one's talking about. Seminoles are now 20-3, and things are looking up in Tallahassee. They're setting themselves up nicely for a potential league title if they can get by the Dukies at Cameron Indoors on Monday. In the Big 12, no big surprises this weekend, other than the Mountaineers losing decisively in Norman. The Sooners end up beating Huggy Bear in West Virginia by 10 points. That all but takes out West Virginia in what's becoming a two-man race in the Big 12 between Baylor and Kansas. In the Big East, here's a conference that's as deep as the day is long. However, nobody can really seem to take down the Seton Hall Pirates. With big wins over Georgetown and Villanova, they are in the driver's seat for a league title and making a good argument for a number 2 seed come March. On to the Big Ten. Finally, we're starting to get some clarity in this conference. Maryland, with a big win over Illinois on Friday, gets them the standalone number 1 in conference. Let's hope Illinois can bounce back strongly at home against Michigan State on Tuesday. Sparty is a team that can't get out of their own way as of late, losing 3 straight. And with the Illini on deck and Maryland to follow, it won't get any easier for Tom Izzo in this preseason number 1. Super Tuesday also brings us a Big Ten matchup between two of the hottest teams in conference, between Penn State and Purdue. Purdue's can't miss as of late, but make sure you set your DVR so you can get this early 5:30 tip in West Lafayette. Now on to the SEC. After starting the conference play 8-0, the LSU Tigers have come back to earth after back-to-back nights of scoring 90 points. But they gave up 99 to one win in conference Vanderbilt and 91 to Auburn. Auburn, LSU, and Kentucky now find themselves in a three-way tie at the top at 8-2. It'll be interesting to see who can take care of business in this very average league. On to the Pac-12 now, where Oregon lost a tough game at Oregon State, giving the top spot in the conference to Colorado. And just when we thought Sean Miller had things figured out in Tucson, the Cats get blown out by 13-11 UCLA at home. Arizona is now 16-7 and 6-4 in Pac-12 play. San Diego State stayed perfect with wins against Utah State and the Air Force Academy. They're now sitting at 23-0. And of course, Gonzaga took on what was probably their last true test of the season at St. Mary's and won by 30. 90-60, the Bulldogs blow them out. The Bulldogs are a shoo-in for number one seed, and at 25-1 with a cupcake schedule to close the year, they want that number one seed overall. Thanks for having me on, guys. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Thank you for that great college basketball talk there. That is our guy, Kyle Haggerty. Like you said, we're going to start having him on Mondays to kind of break down the weekend that was college basketball, the week that was college basketball. Also, get him more into it as March Madness is quickly getting here, boys. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Speaking of college basketball, big week for the Huskies. I know we've talked local Illinois teams, and obviously U of I is having a great run. They did lose a tough one the other day to Maryland. But NIU has now won 6 games in a row, sit at 15-19 or 15-9, I'm sorry, on the year. So I know there's quite a few people in the listening area that are not too far from DeKalb. So if you get a chance, get out to DeKalb or go down to Champaign for a game, because I think those are the two teams. I think those might be the only 2 teams in the state of Illinois with a winning record this year. So,
Illinois State's 8-16.
If you guys follow our guy,
follow our
next
guy,
White
topic,
Sox
please.
Dave, he said I think Northwestern was up by 10 with 16 minutes left, but they were live money still plus 260 or something like that, and they were up 10.
That's understandable.
That's crazy, but
they stink.
He said, look more into some college basketball talk from our guy Kyle Haggerty. Thank you very much. Boomy, you got a wacky web story for us?
I sure do, and this is one that probably hits home with just about everybody, as we've all had some sort of loan in the past, especially student loans. I'm sure I know I'm still paying off some of mine. Begoy, an Illinois State guy. Zach, I'm sure you got some loans, the old IVCC and the media school days, but we all know about student loans. But I think I have found someone that deserves to have theirs eliminated more than I think I should have mine. And this is an Ohio man named Dan Kane, and he is trying to receive 55,000 duplicate statements for his student loans addressed to his home by the student loan company. 55,000 copies of the exact same statement on accident. He had to go to his local post office, and they said they had bins for him. Turns out it was 79 bins of letters.
He had to take all of them.
Yeah, I mean, you just take them straight to the dumpster.
I understand that, but
obviously.
Still, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Could you imagine? Like, I'd be so mad. I'd take them to my dad's burn pile and just use them.
Here's my question: if you're the student loan company, how the hell do you miss 55,000 of the same copy?
Yeah, that seems.
Yeah.
Is it like a job you just like push the start button on overnight?
Would you think like, man, we got a lot of these boxes going out of here today. That's way more than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of don't blame the guy here. I blame the loan company. I'm like,
well, absolutely. I think the loan company needs to make this right and pay off this dude's loan, because that is a pain in the 79 bins of paper.
You'd have all these people like accidentally ordering like all of them.
Oh, I'd print 55,000 copies of my own if it meant
that's
getting
what
out
they're
of
gonna say. If they let this guy get away with it, they'd be like, "Whoa, what happened here?"
This is one when we started, and I found this in my notes the other day, and it ties into this. There was a recent study done that Americans, like a vast majority of them, said they would spend a week in prison to get rid of their student debts or whatever.
No.
And you wouldn't?
No.
I'd do a month.
Mine aren't that, so I don't need to go to.
I mean, mine's not terrible, but
No.
I'd do a month to get rid of it.
I like living a jail-free life.
Like, I teach. I'm off June, July, and August. I'll take July.
It's kind
That's
of like
fine.
a vacation
One time,
in a
I'm never.
way. You have nothing to do for 1 month.
Yeah,
I want to stay as far away from the jail as possible.
I guess I'm
so
like, yeah,
I'm out
jail
of that.
isn't a good thing at all. But if you're gonna go for 1 month and get your student loans taken away, I guess that'd be fine.
Mine's not bad. Mine's not like I know some people $1,000 worth of debt, and mine's nothing compared to that. But I would still easily do a
It's a
week.
vacation. You
to
have
get rid
1
of it.
month vacation. I understand.
that's
Yes,
what-
it's
even
jail.
like-
I understand. That's not anywhere you want to go. But maybe I'm
Yeah,
I'm
dude, and, like-
underthinking this.
And it did say jail, I prison when I look at the article, but like county jail, 100%.
No jail for me.
Pigoy is staying out of jail. Good for you, Pigoy.
Pigoy
I'm
would
accustomed
not
to
do
a
that
certain
in
standard
jail.
of living, and I don't want to sacrifice that.
Anything post show, boys, on this Monday.
I don't want to go to jail. There's my post. For
Breaking
voluntary or
news.
involuntary.
Breaking news.
Nope.
Pigoy does not want to go to jail.
Nope.
Boomy,
Voluntary,
thoughts on
involuntary. I'm not
jail?
going to jail.
I mean, I could do it for a week if it was county.
I'm with Pigoy though. We'll stay out of jail.
I mean, I'm not like volunteering that I'd go, but if you want to pay off my student loan, I'd definitely go for a week.
I thought it was a month.
No, I'm saying I upped the ante. I would go for a month,
Oh.
but the survey was a week.
Yeah.
But I'm upping it.
I bet there's a lot of
I'd
people
probably
that would
spend
do
a lot of
month.
time to read. Probably make some
push-ups.
friends.
I guess what they would
Work
have
out.
to do is they'd have to like see how much it is, and then that's what they would do. Like how much time. You
Right. Like there's like a pyramid threshold. Like if your debt is between like 0 and 25,000, you have to do a week. If it's 25 to 50, you got 2. 50 to 75,
And then
you got
there's
3.
Pigoy.
It keeps going.
No amount.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
No amount.
None for me.
Thank you for listening, watching to the TCF Morning Show Monday, February 10th. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. If you want a beautiful mug just like this, it doesn't have the beautiful logo on it, but if you want a mug that looks like this, go to The Muddy Otter. Check out their products on there. And if you got any custom ideas for them, go to their Instagram and Facebook page. Hit them up on there, Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Again, themuddyotter.com. Also, shout out to Score Trader. Go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app, make yourself an account, and get yourself ready for the New Hampshire caucus that starts Tuesday, Boomy?
Primary.
Sorry. Well, I didn't know if they were all named caucus. I didn't know. That's on
No,
me. That's
caucus,
on me.
they actually like go sit in a gym and have a debate about
Okay.
it.
So we're on to the New Hampshire primary. There we
There
go.
you go, buddy.
So we'll get more into that tomorrow. But like you said, Boomy, who do you think should have win? You think Bernie is going to win?
I think my gambling money, I might have to go Bernie here.
I said, and this kind of is like gambling, buy and trade candidates and stuff like that. So go on to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app, make yourself an account, and get yourself kind of, if you're not really into politics that much, maybe this will help out a little bit with that. And also go to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and follow them on there. Anything else, boys?
Let's have a week.
Have a week. Follow Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter, Pigoy at TCF Pigoy. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me at ZLilia, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook is Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. We put all our videos on there. Watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos. Let us know what you think. And then wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. If you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. And if you're on Spotify, follow us on there, please. Hope everyone had a great Monday. I always know Mondays kind of suck. but hopefully we helped you get through your Monday. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, February 10th. We love you all.
Peace.